It's this time of the year for our little recap of what happened in 2013 in the world of watchmaking. So we could talk about some business issues, some events, and obviously some of the timepieces that we think was the most relevant. So going back to business, 2012 was a record-breaking year for Switzerland. What's happening in 2013?
Swiss watchmaking sold already 1.8% more watches since January to October regarding 2012, but the growth is like slowing a little bit, and this is due also for the lack of growth, or for the decreasing of the growth of emerging countries who were before very active.
This year we've had the chance of going in many places around the planet, from Mexico, China, United States, around Europe obviously, to different watch events, to different events held by the brands, and so we had the opportunity to meet quite a lot of end customers, and what we could see is that the level of education of those end customers is really increasing. The transparency of information makes them much more aware of how does a watch work and what is behind. The question is not only how much does it cost, it goes a bit further than that, doesn't it?
Yes, the love for watches is becoming bigger, and this is a very good news actually. But with this love, there is also a need for information, for precision, and all the CEOs and people working on the booths at the fairs told us that the customer wants to buy something qualitative. He wants exactly to know what is inside, how it has been done.
This notion of quality has become obviously very, very important, and even like the Geneva Seal is a 125-year-old institution, now goes much further in the criteria, defining this level of quality and really thinking about the end customers.
Yes, and this year the first watches respecting the new criteria has been produced. Precision, waterproof and resistance to shock, for instance, are no additional criteria that these watches must respect.
And so this has all obviously an impact at the end of the day on the retail part of business.
Absolutely. No, the retailers have to communicate by themselves, to create events by themselves more than they used to do before. And this changes also the dynamic between the brands and the retailers. And another aspect of this is that brands are going to sell and are preparing to sell more and more watches through the internet. Now it's quite timid, and watchmaking is an industry that is not very courageous in this, but some tests have been already done. Jaquet-droz does that, jaquet-droz also, Piaget also, and watches up to 100,000 Swiss francs has been already sold by internet. So this is another factor the retailers will have to deal with in the next years.
So we've been talking about new watches coming out on the market this year, but there's something that's also very important and is a strong indicator is what's happening in the auction business. Asia has been drawing the auction market since a few years. It's still the case, but nevertheless what we can see is that customers overall globally, they want more quality in terms of what they're willing to buy. Rarity is not sufficient, quality is really necessary. And something that exemplifies this year was the incredible Christie's auction for the iconic Rolex Daytona 50th anniversary that was held this fall in Geneva, where estimates were multiplied by 4 in terms of what actually happened in that room. So now let's talk about the new pieces and the ones that we think have been mostly relevant this year. TAG Heuer introduced on a commercial basis its micro-pendulum escapement watch. And this is a really big breakthrough. I don't think we realize yet exactly what it means and the impact it will have, but it's something that is very disruptive. And actually in January we will have 2 reports on the research and development department of TAG Heuer. You'll see it's going to be very interesting. It's something really new in watchmaking.
In fact, the new escapement showed by TAG Heuer has no spiral. It uses magnets, and magnetism has always been a big problem for watchmakers. They wanted to get out of it. They wanted to put it out of the watches because it could disturb the run of the movement. Now it's the contrary, and also this year Breguet with the chronometry 7727 introduced magnetism in the watches. So this means that innovation has a very strong place in watchmaking. This is not big news, but actually it depends how we do that, and groups are putting a lot of effort into that. But not only groups actually, also small brands, and among them we could visit the laboratory of HYT. HYT is the liquid brand. In fact, it shows the time with liquid going into a capillary.
And we're talking about the future here, but there's something reminiscent of the past that is also very significant this year that happened at the Grand Prix d'Horlogerie de Genève.
Absolutely. Watchmaking has deep roots, in fact, and traditional watchmaking and craftsmanship has been celebrated this year, in particular with two persons that won an award at the Grand Prix d'Horlogerie de Genève. The first one is Romain Gauthier, who just launched his brand like 6 years ago, and he is from the Vallée de Joux, and he creates the watches with a very pure spirit, and he won the prize of the complicated man category. The other one, he is somehow his master. He is the guru of watchmaking, the inspiration, the incarnation of what is a true watchmaker. He lives also in the Vallée de Joux. It is Philippe Dufour. And Philippe Dufour, more than a watchmaker, he is really like a soul of watchmaking, incarnating the spirit, the patience, the passion that you need to create a very amazing and beautiful watch. And this year too, at the GPAG, he won a prize. It was a special prize from the jury, and this has been a big recognition for him. So I think we are at the end of a amazing year, like it's very often in watchmaking, full of surprises, full of innovation, and with good perspectives for next year. And
well, we're looking forward to seeing you there. So till then, happy Christmas
and happy New Year.